Hello, health champions. Male fertility is often an overlooked part of the conception journey, yet research reveals that male factors contribute to nearly half of all infertility cases worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 6 couples globally experiences infertility, and in about 40 to 50% of those cases, the issue lies with the man. While many men assume fertility is purely genetic or beyond their control, science paints a much more hopeful picture. Sperm health is deeply influenced by everyday lifestyle choices, nutrition, environment, and overall wellness. The empowering truth is that with the right changes, many men can significantly improve the quality, motility, and quantity of their sperm, naturally. Dr. Stanton Honig, a leading urologist at Yale Medicine, emphasizes that any lifestyle that negatively impacts general health will also have a negative impact on male reproductive function. What is good for your general health will be good for sperm as well. This perspective highlights that fertility is not an isolated system. Rather, it reflects a man's entire state of health. When we strengthen cardiovascular health, reduce oxidative stress, improve sleep, and nourish the body with proper nutrients, we are simultaneously creating an environment where sperm can thrive. Think of sperm production as a delicate assembly line, a process scientifically referred to as spermatogenesis. This process takes approximately 74 days from start to finish, meaning that the choices a man makes over the course of 3 months can transform his reproductive potential. It's a long but steady investment, much like planting seeds in a garden, tending the soil, ensuring adequate sunlight and water, and waiting for healthy plants to emerge. The same patience and consistency apply to building stronger fertility. The encouraging part is that even modest improvements in health habits can lead to measurable differences in sperm count and motility over time. Another crucial insight is that fertility is not solely about producing a high number of sperm. Quality matters just as much as quantity. Sperm need to swim effectively, penetrate the egg, and deliver intact DNA to ensure healthy embryonic development. Unfortunately, modern life introduces multiple challenges to this process. Factors such as smoking, excessive alcohol use, obesity, poor diet, environmental toxins, sedentary behavior, and chronic stress are all strongly associated with reduced sperm function. Some studies have even linked common everyday exposures, such as plastics containing BPA, air pollution, or frequent use of hot tubs, to measurable declines in sperm concentration. This paints a clear picture. While medical interventions like IVF and ICSI can assist couples, men also have significant power to optimize fertility naturally before seeking advanced treatments. In recent decades, fertility specialists have observed an alarming decline in global sperm counts. A landmark study published in the journal Human Reproduction Update found that sperm concentrations among men in Western countries have declined by over 50% between 1973 and 2011. Scientists continue to debate the exact causes, but most agree that environmental factors, lifestyle habits, and diet play pivotal roles. This trend underscores why understanding and applying natural fertility-boosting strategies is not just helpful, but essential for future generations. Throughout this video, we will explore the scientifically validated strategies men can use to enhance their reproductive health. We'll cover lifestyle foundations such as exercise, stress reduction, and maintaining healthy body weight. We'll dive into nutrition, highlighting specific foods and nutrients that support sperm vitality. We'll examine supplements that researchers have found beneficial, and we'll discuss environmental considerations, such as reducing exposure to toxins and managing heat around the testicular area. Finally, we'll emphasize when it's important to seek medical evaluation, because while natural strategies are powerful, there are cases where professional guidance is essential. Before diving into these topics, it's important to recognize that male fertility isn't just about conceiving a child. It's also a reflection of a man's overall health. In fact, research has linked poor sperm quality with increased risks of chronic diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. Sperm serve as tiny messengers, not only carrying genetic material but also reflecting the health of the man producing them. By working to optimize sperm health, men are investing in both their reproductive and long-term well-being. So, whether you are planning to start a family soon, thinking ahead for the future, or simply striving to improve your overall vitality, the steps we'll discuss can have life-changing effects. Imagine the difference between struggling silently with uncertainty and stepping into fatherhood with confidence, knowing you have done everything within your power to optimize your natural fertility. This journey is not about quick fixes, but about creating lasting habits that nourish both body and spirit. In the sections to come, we will start with the lifestyle foundations, because these form the bedrock of reproductive wellness. By adjusting daily routines, from what you eat and drink to how you move, sleep, and manage stress, you can begin laying the groundwork for healthier, stronger, and more resilient sperm. When it comes to male fertility, lifestyle is the cornerstone. While supplements and medical treatments can be powerful, no pill or procedure can undo the damage caused by consistently poor habits. The body is an interconnected system, and sperm production is especially sensitive to the way a man lives day to day. As Dr. Paul Turek, a prominent urologist and men's health specialist, explains, sperm are like canaries in the coal mine of male health. They're early indicators of whether the body is thriving or struggling. The first and perhaps most impactful change many men need to make is quitting smoking. Cigarette smoke contains more than 7,000 chemicals, many of which are toxic to sperm. Studies have shown that men who smoke have lower sperm counts, reduced motility, and higher rates of DNA fragmentation compared to non-smokers. DNA fragmentation, in particular, increases the risk of miscarriage and poor embryo development. A review published in Human Reproduction reported that smoking men were 23% more likely to experience fertility problems than non-smokers. This is not just a matter of numbers. Smoking alters the very structure of sperm, affecting their ability to fertilize an egg. The good news is that improvements can begin within months of quitting. Because spermatogenesis takes about 74 days, new, healthier sperm start emerging within 3 months of smoking cessation, offering a powerful incentive to stop now. Alcohol consumption is another lifestyle factor with significant effects on sperm. While an occasional drink is unlikely to cause harm, regular heavy drinking can reduce testosterone levels, shrink testicular size, and impair sperm motility. A study published in BMJ Open in 2014 found that men who consumed more than 5 units of alcohol per day had significantly lower sperm counts and quality compared to moderate drinkers. Alcohol also generates oxidative stress in the testes, damaging developing sperm cells. Fertility specialists such as Dr. Alan Pacey, professor of andrology at the University of Sheffield, often recommend limiting alcohol to no more than a few drinks per week when trying to conceive. Equally important is physical activity, which acts as a natural fertility booster when approached correctly. Exercise improves circulation, enhances hormonal balance, and supports a healthy body weight, all of which are crucial for sperm production. In fact, research shows that men who engage in regular moderate physical activity have higher sperm counts and better motility compared to sedentary men. A 2012 study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that men who performed at least 15 hours of moderate exercise weekly had sperm concentrations 73% higher than those who exercise fewer than 5 hours weekly. However, more is not always better. Excessive or intense training, especially endurance sports like marathon running or cycling for extended periods, can have the opposite effect, lowering testosterone and increasing scrotal heat. This underscores the importance of balance. Exercise should invigorate the body, not exhaust it. Weight training combined with moderate cardio is particularly effective for maintaining hormonal stability and reproductive vitality. Maintaining a healthy body weight is another cornerstone of male fertility. Obesity disrupts hormone balance, often increasing estrogen while lowering testosterone. Fat tissue also raises scrotal temperature, creating an unfavorable environment for sperm development. Research published in Fertility and Sterility found that obese men were more likely to have low sperm counts and reduced motility compared to men at a healthy weight. The encouraging news is that even modest weight loss can have significant benefits. A 10% reduction in body weight has been shown to improve testosterone levels and increase the likelihood of successful conception. For overweight men, this should not be seen as a cosmetic change, but as a crucial step toward optimizing reproductive function. Stress is another silent but potent disruptor of fertility. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, a hormone that interferes with the production of testosterone and the release of luteinizing hormone, LH, which is essential for spermatogenesis. In addition, stress can reduce libido, making conception attempts more difficult. A 2014 study in fertility and sterility revealed that men with higher perceived stress scores had lower sperm motility and abnormal morphology compared to men with lower stress levels. The mechanisms are multifactorial, involving hormonal shifts, oxidative stress, and lifestyle behaviors linked to stress, such as poor sleep or increased alcohol consumption. Addressing stress does not require drastic life changes. Even simple practices like mindfulness meditation, deep breathing, and consistent sleep routines can restore balance. As Dr. Michael Eisenberg, Director of Male Reproductive Medicine and Surgery at Stanford University, notes, stress is often underestimated in men, but managing it can lead to tangible improvements in fertility. Temperature regulation is another lifestyle factor many men overlook. The tests are located outside the body for a reason. Sperm development requires a temperature slightly lower than core body temperature. Prolonged exposure to heat can damage sperm production and reduce motility. Activities such as frequent use of hot tubs, long sauna sessions, or even keeping a laptop on one's lap for extended periods can increase scrotal temperature to damaging levels. A study published in Human Reproduction demonstrated that men who stopped using hot tubs for 3 months showed marked improvements in sperm motility. Similarly, tight underwear and prolonged sitting can subtly elevate testicular temperature over time. Experts like Dr. Harry Fish, author of The Male Biological Clock, often advise men to wear looser clothing, take breaks from sitting, and avoid unnecessary heat exposures to protect sperm health. Environmental toxins are another hidden factor that can silently compromise fertility. Everyday items like plastics, pesticides, and personal care products often contain endocrine-disrupting chemicals such as phthalates, parabens, and bisphenol A, BPA. These substances mimic or interfere with hormonal signals, impairing sperm development. A 2015 study in Environmental Health Perspectives linked urinary BPA levels to reduced sperm concentration and motility in men. While complete avoidance is difficult in modern society, reducing exposure is achievable. Simple steps include switching to glass or stainless steel food containers, avoiding microwaving and plastic, choosing natural personal care products, and consuming organic produce when possible. These adjustments may seem small, but over time they reduce cumulative toxic load, supporting healthier sperm production. Sleep is another underestimated lifestyle factor with a direct impact on fertility. Poor sleep disrupts circadian rhythms, lowering testosterone production and impairing semen quality. A study from the University of Southern Denmark published in the American Journal of Epidemiology found that men who slept poorly or had irregular sleep schedules were more likely to have lower sperm counts. Testosterone levels, which follow a daily rhythm, peak during deep sleep. Consistently missing this restorative sleep stage robs the body of critical hormonal surges needed for sperm development. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of high-quality sleep per night, ideally aligning with natural circadian rhythms by going to bed and waking at consistent times. When people think of fertility, they often think first of medical treatments or supplements, but one of the most powerful tools for improving sperm health sits right on the dinner plate. Diet influences every stage of sperm development, from hormone production to DNA integrity. Because spermatogenesis takes roughly 74 days, the foods a man eats today will influence the sperm released nearly 3 months later. This creates a unique opportunity. By consistently nourishing the body with fertility-supporting nutrients, men can shape their reproductive potential in a measurable and lasting way. A growing body of research underscores that diets rich in whole, unprocessed foods are associated with healthier sperm, while diets dominated by processed meats, sugary drinks, fried foods, and trans fats are linked to poor semen quality. Dr. Jorge Chavarro, a nutrition and fertility researcher at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, has extensively studied this relationship. His findings consistently show that men who follow a Mediterranean-style diet, high in fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, fish, and healthy fats, have better sperm counts, motility, and morphology compared to men consuming Western-style diets rich in red meat, refined grains, and processed foods. As Chavarro has noted, the same diet that is good for cardiovascular health is also the diet that seems to support optimal fertility. Fruits and vegetables form the foundation of a fertility-friendly diet because they are rich in antioxidants. Sperm are highly vulnerable to oxidative stress, which occurs when free radicals damage cells faster than the body can repair them. This oxidative stress can fragment sperm DNA, reduce motility, and impair fertilization capacity. Vitamins C and E, found abundantly in citrus fruits, berries, spinach, nuts, and seeds, are among the most studied antioxidants for sperm protection. A 2009 study in the journal Fertility and Sterility found that men with higher dietary intake of antioxidants had significantly better sperm motility and lower rates of DNA fragmentation. Colorful produce, blueberries, pomegranates, tomatoes, bell peppers, should therefore be seen not only as general health foods, but as direct allies in reproductive health. Among vegetables, leafy greens such as spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are particularly valuable because they are rich in folate. Folate, or vitamin B9, is crucial for DNA synthesis and repair. Low folate levels have been associated with chromosomal abnormalities in sperm. A landmark study from the University of California, Berkeley, demonstrated that men with lower folate intake had sperm with significantly higher rates of chromosomal abnormalities, which may increase the risk of miscarriage or birth defects. By consuming folate-rich foods, or when necessary, supplementing under a doctor's guidance, men can actively support the genetic health of their future children. Nuts and seeds also deserve special attention. Walnuts, in particular, have been studied for their fertility benefits. A 2012 clinical trial published in Biology of Reproduction found that men who consumed 75 grams of walnuts daily for 12 weeks experienced improved sperm vitality, motility, and morphology, compared to men who did not add walnuts to their diet. Researchers attribute these effects to walnuts' high content of omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants. Similarly, pumpkin seeds, almonds, sunflower seeds, and flax seeds provide zinc, selenium, and essential fatty acids that are all critical for sperm production and function. Fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which enhance sperm motility and membrane fluidity. A 2019 study published in JAMA Network Open reported that men with higher omega-3 intake had significantly better semen quality than men with lower intake. Omega-3s reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and are incorporated into sperm cell membranes, making them more resilient and functional. For men who do not consume fish regularly, plant-based sources like chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts provide some omega-3s, though supplementation with fish oil or algae oil may be considered after consulting with a physician. Dairy products are more complicated. While some studies suggest that low-fat dairy may support fertility due to its protein and micronutrient content, other research has linked full-fat dairy products to poorer semen quality. One explanation is that dairy fat may carry residues of hormones or pesticides that interfere with reproductive hormones. Dr. Jorge Chavarro's team has reported that men who consumed high amounts of full-fat dairy had lower sperm motility compared to those who consumed low-fat dairy. This does not mean dairy must be eliminated, but men may benefit from emphasizing low-fat varieties while limiting full-fat milk, cream, and cheese. Processed meats, such as bacon, sausages, and deli meats, are consistently linked to reduced fertility. A Harvard study published in Fertility and Sterility in 2014 found that men who ate the highest amounts of processed meats had 23% fewer normal sperm compared to those who ate the least. The likely culprits are saturated fats, preservatives, and chemical byproducts from processing that induce oxidative stress and hormonal disruption. By contrast, men who consumed more poultry and fish had better sperm morphology. This suggests that choosing lean proteins like chicken or turkey instead of bacon or hot dogs can make a measurable difference in reproductive outcomes. Soy is another dietary factor that sparks debate. Soy contains phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that mimic estrogen. While moderate soy intake is unlikely to cause harm, very high consumption may affect sperm quality in some men. A study from Harvard in 2008 reported that men who consumed the highest amounts of soy foods had lower sperm concentrations than those who ate little to none. However, the study also noted that sperm motility and morphology were not significantly affected. Given the mixed evidence, moderate soy consumption, such as occasional tofu or soy milk, is likely safe, but men concerned about fertility may want to avoid excessive daily intake of soy-based products. Hydration also plays a critical but often overlooked role. Semen itself is a fluid medium, and dehydration can reduce semen volume and impair sperm transport. Water is essential for every metabolic process in the body, including the production of seminal plasma that nourishes and carries sperm. Men should aim for steady hydration throughout the day, emphasizing water rather than sugary drinks or sodas, which add unnecessary calories and may worsen insulin resistance. Emerging research is also shedding light on specific fertility superfoods. For example, tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a potent antioxidant. A meta-analysis in Asian Journal of Andrology found that lycopene supplementation was associated with improved sperm concentration and motility. Dark chocolate, in moderation, provides L-arginine, which may improve blood flow and sperm production. Even watermelon, often dismissed as just water and sugar, contains citrulline, a compound that supports nitric oxide production and blood vessel dilation, indirectly improving reproductive blood flow. These foods should not be seen as magic bullets, but as part of a nutrient-dense dietary pattern that collectively boosts fertility. One area men must approach cautiously is sugar intake. Excessive consumption of refined sugars and sugary beverages is linked not only to obesity and diabetes, but also to impaired sperm quality. A Danish study in reproductive health found that young men who consumed high amounts of sugary sodas had significantly lower sperm counts than those who consumed little to none. Sugar fuels systemic inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which undermine sperm development. Cutting back on sodas, candies, and pastries while replacing them with fruit, nuts, or whole grains can have a direct positive effect on fertility. Finally, it is essential to highlight the role of micronutrients, vitamins and minerals that play specific roles in sperm production. Zinc, for example, is concentrated in the testes and is vital for testosterone synthesis and sperm maturation. Deficiency in zinc has been linked to low sperm counts and reduced motility. Selenium, found in Brazil nuts, eggs, and fish, is another key player, as it supports sperm structure and prevents oxidative damage. Vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin, regulates hormone function, and studies have shown that men with low vitamin D levels often have reduced testosterone and poorer semen parameters. In one clinical trial, men supplemented with vitamin D experienced improved motility compared to those who remained deficient. The overall dietary message is clear. Focus on whole, plant-rich, nutrient-dense foods, minimize processed and inflammatory foods, and ensure adequate intake of fertility-supporting micronutrients. This approach not only enhances sperm health, but also improves cardiovascular function, metabolic stability, and longevity, benefits that extend far beyond fertility. As Dr. Chavarro and colleagues remind us, diet is not a short-term fix, but a long-term investment in both reproductive success and overall health. While a balanced diet forms the bedrock of fertility, supplements can provide additional support, especially in cases where nutrient intake is inadequate or where specific compounds have demonstrated targeted benefits for sperm health. It is important to note, however, that supplements are not magic bullets. They work best when paired with a healthy lifestyle and diet, and they should be viewed as supportive tools rather than substitutes for whole foods. As Dr. Alan Pacey, one of the world's leading andrologists, has often emphasized, supplements can sometimes help, but no supplement will compensate for smoking, obesity, or poor diet. Lifestyle remains the foundation. Still, scientific research shows that certain supplements can make measurable improvements in sperm count, motility, morphology, and DNA integrity. One of the most widely studied fertility supplements is coenzyme Q10, CoQ10. CoQ10 is a naturally occurring antioxidant found in every cell of the body, but especially abundant in the mitochondria, the energy-producing structures within cells. Sperm are highly dependent on mitochondrial function to fuel motility, as they must swim a considerable distance to reach and fertilize an egg. A 2013 randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Urology found that men taking CoQ10 experienced improved semen parameters and reduced oxidative stress compared to those taking a placebo. Researchers concluded that CoQ10 not only boosts energy production in sperm, but also protects them from free radical damage, making it a powerful ally in male fertility. Another critical supplement is zinc, which plays a central role in testosterone production, sperm formation, and chromosomal stability. Zinc is concentrated in the prostate and seminal fluid, where it helps stabilize the sperm cell membrane and DNA. A deficiency in zinc can lead to reduced sperm counts, decreased motility, and increased risk of abnormal morphology. In fact, a meta-analysis published in Fertility and Sterility reported that men with infertility had significantly lower zinc concentrations in their semen compared to fertile men. While zinc can be obtained from foods like oysters, pumpkin seeds, and beef, supplementation may be beneficial for men with limited dietary intake or absorption issues. Selenium is another trace mineral with profound effects on sperm health. It acts as a cofactor for antioxidant enzymes that protect sperm from oxidative stress. Selenium is also essential for sperm structural integrity, particularly for the development of the midpiece, which houses the mitochondria that power sperm motility. In one clinical trial, infertile men who supplemented with selenium and vitamin E showed significant improvements in motility and morphology after just 3 months. Brazil nuts, one of the richest dietary sources of selenium, are often recommended, but because selenium can accumulate in the body, supplementation should be carefully monitored to avoid excessive intake. Vitamin C and vitamin E are two of the most well-established antioxidant supplements for male fertility. Sperm cells are particularly vulnerable to oxidative stress because their cell membranes are rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are prone to damage.
When chosen wisely and used in combination with a healthy diet, supplements can be powerful tools to enhance male fertility. They target specific mechanisms such as antioxidant defense, DNA stability, hormonal regulation, and mitochondrial energy production. Yet, as every fertility specialist emphasizes, they are most effective when integrated into a holistic lifestyle that includes balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, stress management, and avoidance of toxins. In this way, supplements act not as quick fixes but as reinforcements, boosting the body's natural ability to produce strong, healthy sperm. Even with the best diet and supplementation, male fertility can be undermined by environmental and behavioral factors. Sperm are highly sensitive to external stressors, and seemingly small habits, such as how a man sits, the technology he uses, or the toxins he encounters, can collectively have a profound impact on sperm production and quality. Unlike other cells in the body, sperm cells are continuously being generated in the testes, and this process can be disrupted by factors like heat, toxins, poor sleep, and radiation exposure. As Dr. Shanna Swan, a renowned reproductive epidemiologist and author of Countdown, has emphasized, the environment we live in is increasingly hostile to sperm. Lifestyle and chemical exposures play a huge role in the global decline in fertility. The tests are designed to function at a temperature slightly lower than the core body temperature, which is why they are located outside of the body in the scrotum. Excessive heat can disrupt spermatogenesis and damage developing sperm. This is why men who frequently use hot tubs, saunas, or heated car seats often show reduced sperm counts. A study published in Fertility and Sterility in 2007 found that men who stopped using hot tubs experienced significant improvements in sperm counts within 3 months, underscoring how reversible heat-induced fertility issues can be. Modern behaviors also contribute to testicular heat stress. Prolonged sitting, especially with laptops placed directly on the lap, has been shown to increase scrotal temperature by 2-3 degrees Celsius, enough to impair sperm development. Urologists such as Dr. Paul Turek, founder of the Turek Clinic, often advise men to avoid tight-fitting underwear, prolonged cycling, and heat-generating electronics near the groin area when trying to conceive. Small adjustments like wearing looser clothing and taking breaks from sitting can help maintain the testicular environment at an optimal temperature. Another major category of threats to sperm health is exposure to environmental toxins and endocrine-disrupting chemicals, EDCs. These are substances found in plastics, pesticides, personal care products, and industrial pollutants that interfere with hormone signaling. One of the most studied EDCs is bisphenol A, BPA, a chemical used in many plastics and food can linings. BPA has estrogenic activity and has been shown to reduce sperm concentration, motility, and DNA integrity in both animal and human studies. A review published in Human Reproduction Update concluded that BPA exposure is consistently linked to reduced semen quality and fertility outcomes. Similarly, phthalates, commonly found in plastics, cosmetics, and household products, have been associated with reduced testosterone levels and impaired sperm morphology. In one study conducted at the Harvard School of Public Health, men with higher urinary phthalate concentrations had lower sperm counts and motility compared to men with lower exposure. Avoiding microwaving food in plastic containers, choosing phthalate-free personal care products, and minimizing contact with receipts, which are often coated with BPA, are simple but effective strategies to reduce exposure. Pesticides represent another significant concern. Agricultural workers exposed to pesticides have been documented to experience reduced sperm counts, lower motility, and higher rates of infertility. For men outside of agricultural settings, consuming organic produce when possible and thoroughly washing fruits and vegetables can help minimize pesticide ingestion. Lifestyle choices such as smoking, alcohol, and drug use are among the strongest predictors of impaired fertility. Cigarette smoke contains thousands of chemicals, including heavy metals and carcinogens, that directly damage sperm DNA and increase oxidative stress. Research has shown that smokers have up to 23% lower sperm concentration and significantly higher rates of DNA fragmentation compared to non-smokers. Quitting smoking not only improves general health, but can restore sperm function within several months. Exercise is one of the most powerful tools a man can use to boost fertility because it touches nearly every aspect of reproductive health: hormones, circulation, metabolism, body composition, and stress regulation. As Dr. Michael Eisenberg, a leading urologist and researcher at Stanford University, puts it, exercise is medicine. For male fertility, the right amount and type of exercise can mean the difference between impaired sperm production and optimal reproductive health. Testosterone is the primary male sex hormone, essential not only for libido and muscle mass, but also for spermatogenesis. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that resistance training in particular, such as weightlifting, can boost testosterone levels in both the short and long term. However, not all exercise is equally beneficial. Endurance athletes who push their bodies into extreme training, marathon runners, triathletes, or cyclists who train for many hours weekly, often show suppressed testosterone. This condition, sometimes called exercise-induced hypogonadism, results from excessive stress and energy imbalance. Dr. Anthony Hackney, an exercise physiologist who has studied male fertility in athletes, notes that too much exercise can signal to the body that it is under chronic stress, and reproductive functions are among the first to shut down. Resistance training, such as lifting weights or performing body weight exercises, appears to have the most consistent positive effects on fertility. Beyond its hormonal benefits, resistance training improves insulin sensitivity, reduces visceral fat, and helps maintain a healthy body weight, all of which are strongly tied to reproductive health. Obesity is a known risk factor for infertility, as excess fat increases estrogen levels and decreases testosterone through the action of the aromatase enzyme. By building lean muscle and reducing fat mass, resistance training restores the hormonal balance necessary for optimal sperm production. A study in reproductive health demonstrated that men who combined resistance training with moderate aerobic exercise had significantly improved sperm motility and morphology compared to sedentary men. Importantly, these improvements were seen even without major weight loss, suggesting that exercise itself exerts direct benefits on sperm health, independent of body weight. Aerobic exercise, such as brisk walking, swimming, or cycling, also supports fertility by improving cardiovascular health and circulation. Good blood flow is essential for the testes, where sperm are produced, and for erectile function, which ensures successful conception attempts. A randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Human Reproductive Sciences found that 16 weeks of moderate aerobic exercise improved sperm concentration, motility, and morphology, while also reducing markers of oxidative stress. However, balance is critical. Excessive aerobic exercise, especially endurance running or long-distance cycling, can harm sperm production. Cyclists, for example, face unique challenges due to prolonged pressure on the perineum, increased scrotal temperature, and oxidative stress from endurance exertion. Multiple studies, including those published in Fertility and Sterility, have documented lower sperm counts and reduced motility in competitive cyclists. For men who love cycling, experts recommend padded shorts, frequent standing breaks, and limiting session duration to reduce scrotal heat and pressure. High-intensity interval training, HIIT, has emerged as a popular exercise method for boosting metabolism and cardiovascular fitness. While HIIT can improve insulin sensitivity and reduce obesity-related fertility risks, caution is warranted. Very intense HIIT performed daily may increase cortisol levels. However, when practiced in moderation, 2 or 3 times per week, HIIT can complement resistance and aerobic training, supporting metabolic health without overwhelming the endocrine system. When men think of fertility, they usually focus on physical aspects: sperm count, hormones, diet, or exercise. Yet an equally powerful determinant of reproductive success is the mind-body connection. Sperm production is not an isolated process. It is intimately tied to the brain, particularly the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, which orchestrate hormone release. When the brain perceives danger, it activates the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal HPA axis, releasing cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are excellent for short-term emergencies but harmful when chronically elevated. High cortisol suppresses the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal HPG axis, which controls testosterone and sperm production. A study published in Fertility and Sterility found that men reporting high stress levels had significantly lower sperm concentration and motility compared to men with lower stress. Another study in andrology demonstrated that even perceived stress, not just objective stress, was associated with abnormal semen parameters. Dr. Alice Domar, a pioneer in mind-body medicine for fertility, has emphasized that stress creates a vicious cycle. Stress impairs fertility, infertility increases stress, and the cycle continues. Breaking this cycle requires deliberate attention to mental health alongside physical interventions. Mindfulness meditation. Studies show that regular meditation lowers cortisol, improves sleep, and enhances emotional well-being. Yoga and breathing exercises. Yoga combines physical activity, breath control, and mindfulness, making it an excellent tool for stress reduction. While lifestyle, diet, supplements, and exercise form the foundation of male fertility optimization, there are cases where these strategies alone are not enough. As Dr. Mark Goldstein, director of male reproductive medicine at Weill Cornell Medicine, often tells patients, delaying evaluation in men wastes precious time. Male factors account for nearly half of all infertility, and the earlier we diagnose, the better the outcome. The cornerstone of male fertility evaluation is the semen analysis. This simple test measures semen volume, sperm concentration, motility, movement, morphology, shape, and sometimes DNA fragmentation. The World Health Organization, WHO, provides reference values for normal semen quality, though experts caution that fertility is a spectrum. One of the most common correctable causes of male infertility is varicocele, a condition in which veins inside the scrotum become enlarged, similar to varicose veins in the legs. Studies suggest that varicose cells are present in up to 40% of infertile men. Dr. Peter Schlegel, past president of the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, ASRM, has described varicocele repair as one of the most effective interventions we have in male infertility. Surgical or microsurgical repair called varicocelectomy can improve sperm count, motility and morphology, and even increase natural pregnancy rates. In fact, a meta-analysis in Fertility and Sterility reported that men who underwent varicocelectomy had significantly higher spontaneous pregnancy rates compared to men who did not receive treatment. This condition highlights why professional evaluation is essential. No amount of supplements or diet changes can fix a varicocele without medical or surgical intervention. Hormones drive sperm production, and disruptions at any point in the hormonal axis can impair fertility. Conditions such as hypogonadism, hyperprolactinemia, or thyroid disorders can all reduce sperm quality. Blood tests measuring testosterone, luteinizing hormone LH, follicle-stimulating hormone FSH, and prolactin can reveal these imbalances. For example, men with low testosterone due to pituitary dysfunction may benefit from medications like clomiphene citrate or gonadotropin injections, which stimulate the testes to produce more testosterone and sperm. As Dr. John Mulhall, director of sexual medicine at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, warns, exogenous testosterone is a contraceptive for men, not a fertility treatment. Men seeking fertility should always consult a reproductive urologist before starting hormone therapy. One of the barriers to addressing mental health and fertility is stigma. Many men are reluctant to discuss emotional struggles, believing that seeking help reflects weakness rather than wisdom. Yet addressing mental health is one of the most empowering steps a man can take for his fertility and overall well-being. With the right combination of lifestyle optimization, medical support, and emotional wellness, most men can significantly improve their reproductive potential and achieve their family goals.
One example is John, a 38-year-old corporate executive, who had been trying to conceive with his wife for nearly 2 years without success. His semen analysis showed a sperm count well below the healthy range, with poor motility as well. His lifestyle reflected his demanding job: long hours at a desk, frequent business dinners, and little time for exercise. Under the guidance of a reproductive urologist, John reduced alcohol intake, cut processed foods, and began a Mediterranean-inspired diet rich in fish, vegetables, and nuts. He added regular resistance training and daily walks, while also taking supplements such as CoQ10, zinc, and vitamin D. Within 6 months, his sperm count and motility had improved dramatically, and shortly after, his wife conceived naturally. His story shows how diet and lifestyle changes can reverse years of neglect and restore fertility potential. Another story is that of Carlos, a 32-year-old teacher who struggled with infertility for 3 years, despite otherwise healthy habits. His semen analysis consistently showed very low counts with poor motility. Upon examination, his doctor discovered a varicocele, a common but often overlooked condition where veins inside the scrotum become enlarged and interfere with sperm production. After a simple surgical repair, Carlos gave his body time to regenerate sperm. Within 9 months, his sperm parameters improved and his wife became pregnant. His experience illustrates the importance of seeking medical evaluation, as no amount of diet or supplements alone could have corrected this structural issue. Stress and sleep also play critical roles, as seen in Amit, a 29-year-old software engineer working long nights with little rest. His sperm counts were borderline, his motility low, and his testosterone suboptimal. Instead of focusing first on diet or supplements, his physician encouraged him to manage his stress and restore proper sleep. By practicing mindfulness, limiting late-night screen use, and committing to 7 hours of rest per night, Amit not only felt more balanced but also saw a clear improvement in his sperm quality. Within a year, he and his partner conceived, showing how sleep and stress management can be as powerful as nutritional strategies. David's case highlights the dangers of anabolic steroid use. As a 35-year-old bodybuilder, he had relied on steroids for years to build muscle mass. When he and his partner attempted to conceive, his semen analysis revealed azoospermia, meaning no sperm at all. His reproductive hormones were suppressed, consistent with steroid-induced damage. By stopping steroids and undergoing medical therapy with clomiphene citrate, David slowly restored his natural hormone production. After a year, sperm returned to his semen, and with the help of assisted reproductive technology, he and his partner conceived. His story demonstrates the risks of performance-enhancing drugs, but also the resilience of the male reproductive system when given the right support. Dietary transformation can also be life-changing. Mark, a 34-year-old designer, had high sperm DNA fragmentation caused by oxidative stress. His diet was dominated by fast food and sugary drinks, leaving him deficient in antioxidants. With a physician's guidance, Mark adopted a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, fish, and nuts, while supplementing with vitamin C, vitamin E, and L-carnitine. After 4 months, his sperm DNA integrity improved significantly, and his morphology became healthier. 8 months later, his partner conceived naturally. His case shows how nutrition directly affects sperm DNA and fertility outcomes. What unites these stories is the clear message that fertility is multifactorial, influenced by lifestyle, medical conditions, mental health, and environmental exposures. Lifestyle adjustments like weight management, dietary shifts, exercise, and stress reduction often yield dramatic results. At the same time, medical evaluation remains crucial for identifying treatable issues such as varicocele or hormonal imbalances. Mental health plays a central role, as stress, depression, or poor sleep can sabotage even the best physical efforts. And perhaps most importantly, these stories show the resilience of the male body. Even after years of harmful habits or overlooked conditions, improvements are possible when consistent, science-based strategies are applied. Fertility is rarely a straight path, but with persistence, guidance, and balance, many men can transform their reproductive health. Fertility is not simply a matter of chance. It is the result of a complex interplay between biology, lifestyle, environment, and psychology. For men, the quality of sperm is not fixed at birth, but rather shaped throughout life by daily choices and exposures. The foods eaten, the sleep obtained, the stress carried, the exercise performed, and the toxins encountered all leave their mark on reproductive potential. Modern research consistently shows that sperm health is dynamic, meaning it can be damaged by neglect but also restored through consistent attention to health. This reality offers enormous hope, because it means that men are not passive observers of their fertility, but active participants with the power to make changes that directly improve their chances of fatherhood. The foundation of fertility begins with the basics of physical health. A nutrient-rich diet filled with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals nourishes sperm cells at their most vulnerable stages of development. Avoiding excess processed foods, alcohol, and smoking protects them from oxidative damage. Moderate but consistent physical activity builds hormonal strength, enhances blood flow, and improves both sexual health and overall vitality. Adequate sleep and stress management balance the hormonal rhythms that underpin sperm production, while mindfulness, relaxation, and emotional support protect the nervous system from the corrosive effects of chronic anxiety. These everyday practices, while simple, act as powerful medicines for reproductive health. Equally important is the recognition that some obstacles to fertility require professional intervention. Conditions such as varicocele, hormonal imbalances, or blockages in the reproductive tract cannot be solved by lifestyle alone. Timely medical evaluation, semen analysis, and, if needed, surgical or pharmacological treatment often unlock solutions that would otherwise remain hidden. Assisted reproductive technologies such as IVF and ICSI have revolutionized the possibilities for men with severe infertility, but even here, the health of the sperm matters. The healthier the sperm entering the process, the greater the chances of creating healthy embryos, successful pregnancies, and thriving children. Male fertility is also inseparable from overall health. Low sperm counts or poor morphology are not merely reproductive concerns. They can serve as early indicators of systemic health problems such as obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, or hormonal disorders. Paying attention to fertility is therefore not only about creating life, but also about preserving one's own health and longevity. As many leading physicians in reproductive medicine emphasize, fertility is a barometer of male well-being. When sperm are thriving, it is often because the man himself is thriving. What emerges from decades of research and countless patient stories is a picture of fertility as both science and art. The science provides the data, which nutrients protect sperm DNA, which toxins impair motility, which surgeries restore function, and which hormones regulate spermatogenesis. The art comes in the way men and couples apply this science to their own lives, finding balance in diet, exercise, rest, and emotional connection. Fertility is rarely improved by a single intervention. Rather, it is the synergy of many small, sustained changes that together shift the body toward reproductive health. For men facing the challenge of infertility, the message is one of empowerment and resilience. Improvements may take months, since sperm require nearly 3 months to mature, but progress is often measurable and real. Whether through lifestyle adjustments, targeted supplementation, medical treatment, or emotional healing, nearly every man can take steps that improve his reproductive potential. Even in difficult cases where genetic or structural issues limit natural conception, modern medicine offers pathways to fatherhood that were unthinkable only a generation ago. Above all, fertility is not a solitary journey. It is shared with a partner, supported by professionals, and strengthened by community. Communication, patience, and persistence are as essential as vitamins or exercise. By approaching fertility with both scientific knowledge and emotional resilience, couples give themselves the best possible chance of success. Every story of restored fertility is a testament to the body's ability to heal, adapt, and respond when given the right support. As we conclude this exploration of how to boost male fertility naturally, the central truth is clear. The male body is not powerless in the face of declining sperm counts or environmental challenges. With intention, discipline, and care, men can nurture healthier sperm, restore hormonal balance, and create the conditions in which new life can begin. Fertility is not simply about reproduction. It is about vitality, balance, and the interconnectedness of body and mind. By choosing health in everyday decisions, men do not just improve their chances of fatherhood, they also enhance the quality and longevity of their own lives. If you found this exploration helpful and it gave you a deeper understanding of how male fertility can be supported through lifestyle, nutrition, medical insight, and emotional balance, I encourage you to continue this journey with us. Sharing knowledge about fertility not only helps individuals, but also strengthens communities by breaking the silence and stigma surrounding reproductive health. If you believe this information could help someone you know, please share it with them. Your support helps more men and couples access science-based guidance that can change lives. And if you would like to stay connected for more educational content on health, wellness, and science, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you not only stay informed but also help grow a community dedicated to healthier living and better futures.